Welcome to Mango Plays Dear Esther Landmark Edition. I'm really excited to play this. From what I understand, Dear Esther was a quite pioneering game. I think it originally came out in 2008, so it's quite an old game. And it's one of those breakout hits in regard to walking sims, which I'm actually really enjoying at the moment, as you probably noticed by the content on my channel. So let me tell you a bit about the story. Dear Esther immerses you in a stunningly realised world. A remote and desolate island somewhere in the outer Hebrides. Hebrides? As you step forwards, a voice begins to read fragments of a letter. Dear Esther. And so begins a journey through one of the most original first-person games of recent years. Every playthrough a unique experience with randomly generated audio, visuals and events. And now the Landmark Edition was released on the 14th of February 2017. And no, we don't want the director's commentary. And there isn't, like, sort of, normally I do a bit of reviews at the beginning. There isn't any
Dear
that I can...
Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Okay. Yeah, so I had a quick look for some sort of one-liner reviews. It wasn't many. Every review I found was like full-page articles, all praising the game. Getting 8 out of 10 from IGN, 68% from Metacritic, lots of very high-level reviews. Okay. There's a lighthouse. And they weren't kidding about it being a bit deserted. It is eerie. And we have a torch. It's an automatic torch. I don't know what the controls are. I am just using WASD and the mouse. And hopefully we'll get told if there's anything special like crouch and jump and stuff. The graphics are not bad. I mean, I'm assuming that they got reworked for the Landmark Edition. But, I mean, I'm impressed. Like, looks like rotting wood. You know, nothing like a game from about 12 years ago, I would imagine looking. Or remember looking, to be fair. They were good 12 years ago, don't get me wrong. At the time, I thought they were amazing. But you look back on them now, and you think, wow, okay. Alright, so appears to be nothing in that room. We have an automatic flashlight, which is good. Until it goes wrong. Lots of paint spatter. Okay. And nothing to interact in there with. Which path? Down or up? Is that something to read? ISO? Okay. Let's walk along the coast. That's a bit windy. Not too bad. So yeah, I'm I brought a few walking sims after What Remains of Edith Finch. I was just like enthralled by just that genre of game, which I've never played before. That before Edith Finch. And so I picked up a few, waited for some sales on some, and I kept being told about Dear Esther. So I thought, I will pick it up. Just standard rubbish along the beach. Got a feeling we should have gone along the top path, but I think it's always kind of good, especially in these types of games, to go off the standard path first and then return to the standard path. Otherwise, you kind of miss stuff. This looks beautiful. The sky is just awesome.
When you were born, your mother told me a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Ah, so there's not a dad then? Or, well, if it is... Hang on, isn't there some form of... some mathematical equation symbol thing? Shows my lack of my knowledge there. I quite like that voice actor's voice. Nice and deep. Definitely an older gentleman.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
Okay. That was quite poetic. A bit confusing. Not sure if he was being quite literal or what. Do I have a run? Nope. I have a zoom though. Whee! There's just debris on the beach. So let's head back and go up that path. Very curious to see what it has. So far, the game has just really been showing the beauty of the graphics. There's been nothing stand out in regards to story or anything else. But I mean, look at these. The sort of overgrown flowers. It is stunning. Yeah. Yeah, so I know nothing about what we're going to encounter in this story. Quite curious. Okay, here we are at the top. Now, the different path. Okay. Ooh, radio mast. Or TV mast. Sounds like it's a bit cold.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
What were your reasons? Wow. Okay, so, we're still trying to ascend to the top.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay.
Okay.
The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Right. That's interesting.
I quote directly, a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
No idea. Okay, so we're now starting to get some story. But I'm confused by it.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home.
Whoa.
I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here instead. It was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
Signals? What signals? Okay. This cave's cool. I am so confused. How old are we? I can't see myself. I was just playing the Fideli incident, and that annoyed me that you couldn't see yourself when looking down. Ah, so there's the lighthouse. Can I go in the water? I can. Did that kill me? May have done.
Come back.
Oh, okay. Achievement unlocked. Senated. Okay. Don't understand that word. So let's head up that path just there. But yeah, I kind of miss being able to see yourself. But that was a lovely touch in oh, right, okay. Sorry guys, got to go back to go forwards. Oh yeah, it was a lovely touch in Edith Finch. Just being able to see your knees. Okay, let's... Can I get over this bit? Yeah. Shortcut! It really wasn't much of a shortcut. Music's beautiful. It's very tranquil. Which makes me wonder if they're going to just flip it all of a sudden. Like when it goes nighttime. It's such an itchy face at the moment. Yeah, no, can't run. So, are we Esther? Esther's quite an old-fashioned name. So, are we a little bit older?
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
Lovely. Okay, what's down here? He's a bit morbid, isn't he? Anything here? Are we going to fall off the edge? Oh, that was that bit that we came to. Okay, yep. It's kind of Stonehenge-y. It's not Stonehenge at all. Nowhere near the size and magnitude, but you know, just random stones placed up on their edges. Yeah, why? Love to know the reason behind it. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. I would love to be walking here, like IRL. I've been probably coming here on a warmer day because I'll be a bit chilled, but it's such beauty. Now, what's the time, do we reckon? Seems to be getting darker. As I said, I wondered if they were going to flip it on us. Like, so tranquil right now. And feels relatively safe. Are they going to start, you know, making it dark? Just to give you a bit of fear. Do we continue? Oh, it seems silly to continue, but also silly not to. But I don't know if we can't jump. So how can we get back up? Hey, oh, come on then. Oh. Achievement unlocked, Donnelly.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Well, it's definitely been made by an English development company. Because, you know, welcome brake services. Like, I've never known a game to have that in. I'm gutted. I was aiming for the red thing. I'm confused. I don't understand. Maybe that's the point. It probably is the point. Okay, let's make our way down then. I'm slightly confused that we haven't been able to interact with anything yet. That seems very odd to me. Okay, so we got a shipwreck. Oop. Hello. This is quite an impressive shipwreck. Can I get up from here? No. No clambering allowed. From this way? Oh, there's the red thing. I guess we're not supposed to explore it. Unless I can get on from here. Nope. Invisible wall. Wow, okay. There's a couple of shipwrecks. And there's a little boy out there. Okay, let's head up this path then. We came from over there.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
What? Okay. Oh, it's... Am I able to get back to these? No, so I can't even review the, like, journal as such. But we've apparently been rendered opaque by a drunk. Okay. This island definitely seems to be abandoned. At least this section.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Oh, hang on. Okay, so are we the bloke that's talking, that's writing to Esther? Because, you know, we keep looking up at the aerial, to be fair. Oh, that freaked me out. It's just us. It's fine. Now, he kind of said that we should be looking for the cave, sort of under the island. But I want to know about the house.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was
Okay.
not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work.
Huh.
He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There
Oh.
was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Okay. Well, here's some more paint work. Let's have a look in here.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Is that an ultrascan? Or ultrasound, even? Yeah, I think it is. Interesting. Hang on, left click and right click zooms in. Oh, maybe you just don't get to interact with anything at all. Hello. That scared me a little bit. But I have been victim to much worse recently. Yeah, I can imagine, like, at the beginning when I first started YouTube, that would have made me scream out loud, to be fair. That's hardly amazing, like, landscape that they've created in this game. Oh, hello. Nope. Okay, which way? Do we just continue up the main path? Yeah, I think we shall. Although, that's going back down. That doesn't seem right. Let's see if we can see where it will go. Nope. Don't want to go down. Onwards and upwards is the saying. I could imagine, like, literally playing this with a controller and just chilling out on the sofa. Absolutely, probably is the best way to play this game. Is that a grave? Oh. Is that a child's grave? That's not good. How do we get that path up there? And goes lost. Let's try up this section here. Nope, too steep. Maybe I can go back on myself this way. Don't know. Think I probably can't. We'll give it a go. This might be the best place. Nope, invisible wall. Okay, so I have to go down, it looks like. Alright. And we'll bring you back in a second. Alright, let's follow this path down then. It's butterflies that keep flying in my face. I'm not sure. This bit would freak me out though. IRL. Heights and... no. I mean, look at how thin this path is.
Jacobson's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed. The result of some birth defect, or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him. Unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop. A false and calcified seabird.
Okay. But yeah, in real life, I'd just twist my ankle and go over the edge. I'm, yeah, incredibly clumsy.
In early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Wow, okay. Is this... yeah, this is the wreckage of another boat. That lighthouse needs to be manned. Yeah, it's definitely not doing its job if it is actually working.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg.
Oh dear.
I think the femur is broken.
Oh dear.
It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Oh. Okay. Just having a nose down here. Whilst he was yattering. There's a couple of books. The history. Hebrides history. Clothes and the like. Okay. Nothing I can interact with. So he's broken his leg. That's painful. I don't know. I've not broken my leg, but I can imagine that's painful, especially without medical care. He is not wrong. He is likely to die from that. Okay, there was weird noises coming from in here. Sounded like songs being sung. And here's a candle. Okay. Well, here's proof of life. Oh, sounds like I'm talking about a kidnapped victim. Ooh. Wow, that's pretty. Whoops. Achievement unlocked. Jacobson.
Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
Okay. Oh. Thought that was a person. Right, guys. Well, oh, hello. Let's go stand by the candle somebody's lit recently. I'm going to end it here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the loss of our torch. Uh-oh. That's a bad thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it so far. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. And leave me a comment down below if you've actually played this before or you're as interested to find out what's going on as me. I.e., what are those? Are those eyes staring at us? Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.